from the great state of California and House Armed Service Committee member Sarah J.
Who is heavily invested in banks and in drug makers, according to the San Diego Union Tribune.
Welcome, Congresswoman. So glad to have you. So many of these amendments are not going to be enacted because of the Democratic Senate. But let's get right
still
into
talk
it.
about
What
them.
are Republicans going to do in order to reconcile this notion of culture wars and their impact on what is a matter of national security with the Department of Defense?
You know, I am so incredibly disappointed that my Republican colleagues have hijacked this traditionally bipartisan bill to put in their wish list of far-right extreme at the
She's saying it's far right to not have transgender care and surgery in the military and abortion and diversity programs.
expense of our service members. You know, I represent San Diego, the biggest military
You
community in the
represent
country.
big tech and drug makers.
That I am not getting phone calls from my constituents about drag shows. I'm not getting phone calls from my constituents about DEI. I'm getting phone calls from my constituents about the fact that they can't find or afford housing. The child care wait lists are 4,000 people long. They can't afford food. You know, in San Diego alone, we have 45,000 members of military families who visit the food bank every month. And yet my colleagues want to use this bill, instead of focusing on what really matters for our national security, to politicize our military.
What really matters? She's saying it's abortion, transgender care, and diversity programs.
I noticed that Speaker McCarthy said that we can't have a successful military with Disney training our troops. I don't know of any situation where Disney is actually training our
Democrats
troops.
are.
I want to ask you,
close enough.
How much of what we're talking about here with the Republicans is just really virtue signaling to their base? And how much of it is really about an actual concern to members of our armed forces and their families and their readiness to actually defend our country?
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, like I said,
big tech billionaire Granddaughter.
My constituents, which are the biggest military community in the district, these are not the things they're calling me about. And so I do think this is a lot about Republicans trying to hijack this bill and make it their extreme far-right wish list. And actually, to the detriment of the readiness of our military, because we're having a recruitment and retention shortage right now. And banning gender-affirming care for people and their dependents, not making it so that female service members can get the health care that they need. Why
abortion isn't health care.
Decide to go into the military if it means they're going to have less rights as a service member than they do as a civilian?
You raise a great point about the ability of the U.S. Armed Forces to be able to recruit if these policies are passed. But I want to talk to you very quickly about 4 of your Democratic colleagues who voted in favor of this bill. What do you say to them?